Hello students. Next chapter and last chapter to be discussed for the term 2 portion for the board examination of B.ST 2022 is the consumer protection. Yes, what is the consumer protection? First concept is to be discussed. What is the meaning of consumer protection? Yes, consumer protection is a protection of consumers against the unfair trade practices by the producer and seller. That is the consumer protection of the consumer against their exploitation by producers and sellers. So consumers being greatly exploited by sellers, and what the exploitation is made: adulteration in the food items, underpricing, underweight. Okay, some of the examples are there. Next point comes why consumer protection is necessary, why it is important. First reason is it is due to consumer ignorance. Consumers are least bothered to protect their interest as a group. The consumers' ignorance is there. Consumers are unorganized. There is no relevant and valid associations working in this direction. They are unorganized. Third, widespread exploitation of the consumers through defective and unsafe products, adulteration, false and misleading advertising. That is a very important part of the consumer exploitation. False and misleading advertising and information, and then the hoarding and black marketing. These are the various forms of the consumer exploitation by the producer sellers, and this is how the consumer is to be protected. Then to protect the consumer and their rights, Consumer Protection Act 1986 was framed and enacted, and next recently in the year 2019 the Consumer Protection Act is revised and reenacted to protect the consumers in a better way. Now the next question comes, what is the definition of consumer protection and consumer under the Consumer Protection Act? That is very important. A small question, 2 mark 3 question, 2 or 3 marks. Under the Consumer Protection Act, consumer means any person who buys any goods for a consideration which has been paid or promised, or partly paid and partly promised, or under any system of deferred payment. It includes any user of such goods when such goods is made with the approval of the buyer, but does not include a person who obtains goods for resale और फॉर एनी कॉमर्शियल पर्पस. तो यहाँ पर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट डेफिनेशन जो दिया हुआ है अंडर द कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट कि द गुड्स और सर्विस मस्ट बी एक्वायर्ड फॉर मनी वैल्यू और फॉर कंसिडरेशन अंडर एनी सिस्टम ऑफ पेमेंट, कैश और डेफर्ड पेमेंट, that is must, but free of cost goods will not be covered under the Consumer Protection Act. Second thing, you just getting the approval from the actual buyer to use the product, they will be also covered under the Consumer Protection Act. Third, the buyer of the goods and services for resale, that is a trader and sellers, they are not covered अंडर द कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड, क्योंकि आजकल जो क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं केस स्टडी में ज़्यादा आ रहे हैं, तो हो सकता है केस स्टडी में डाल दें और इट माइट बी आस्क्ड जस्ट आइडेंटिफाई द कंज्यूमर अंडर द कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट. दे देगा केस स्टडी में कि गुड्स आर परचेज फॉर रीसेल एंड आइडेंटिफाई द परचेजर whether the consumer is consumer or not under the Consumer Protection Act. Second definition of the consumer: any person who hires or avails of any service for a concession which has been paid or promised or partly paid and partly promised or under any system of deferred payment. It includes any beneficiary of services which when such services are availed of with the approval of the person concerned, but does not include a person who avails of such services for any commercial purpose. Once again, two definitions are there. One is for the commodity and another is for the service. So for this definition the same and इसमें सर्विस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से दूसरा कमोडिटी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से डेफिनेशन है. डेफिनेशन भी आते हैं क्वेश्चन में. नेक्स्ट कम्स द ग्राउंड्स ऑफ कंप्लेंट. कंप्लेंट का ग्राउंड क्या हो सकता है अंडर द कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट. फर्स्ट द अनफेयर एंड रिस्ट्रिक्टिव ट्रेड प्रैक्टिसेस डन बाय द सेलर. Then the consumer might file the case against the producer seller in the consumer courts. Then defective goods are defective, not functioning as per the specification and information given on the package of the product. Deficiency of services are not being performed as it was committed. Excessive charging of price compared to other market or similar goods. And last but not the least, supply of hazardous goods causing danger to the life of the consumer. The product is getting exploded or food items getting poisoned after taking it. So these are the grounds of complaint under which the consumer can file the case in the consumer courts. Then consumers also getting the rights under the Consumer Protection Act 2019 or 86. First is the right to information. Under the right to information, the consumer has to be informed right information about the product and goods and services. Then right to choose. Generally it is seen whenever we go to the market to purchase goods, sellers enforcing to take this and that good, इसमें इतना ऑफर है, this and that. तो ये it is a right to choice is given to the consumer, not to the producer seller. Producer seller cannot enforce the buyer or purchaser कि आप इसी goods को खरीदिए, ये इनका right नहीं. It is consumer's right to choice. Then the right to be heard. Yes, consumer's right is there to get their complaint registered by the producer seller या उनके बात को सुनना, ये नहीं कि सीधा नकार देना, रिजेक्ट कर देना. That is the right to be heard. Then the right to seek redressal. अभी सिर्फ कंप्लेंट रिसीव कर लिया तो नहीं चलेगा, या तो प्रोड्यूसर सेलर और कंज्यूमर कोर्ट में अगर फाइल हो रहा है केस तो उसका समाधान भी स्टिपुलेटेड पीरियड में होना चाहिए. दैट इज राइट टू सीक redressal. Then the right to consumer education. It is a consumer right to get the education training for the product which they are purchasing. So these are the rights. Some duties are also there for the consumers. Consumers has to take the duties and responsibilities while purchasing the goods. Yes, consumer must see the date of manufacturing, date of expiry, name of the manufacturer, whether the license number is given or not on the package it is mentioned, ingredients, ISI or trademark or other security mark which is given by the government of India, is that mark is there or not. All these whether the properly it is packaged or not, ये सारी बातों का ध्यान रखना चाहिए कंज्यूमर को. दैट इज कंज्यूमर ड्यूटीज एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. इनसे भी क्वेश्चन बार बार आते हैं, राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज से भी. देन द व्हाट आर द मीन्स ऑफ रिलीज, व्हाट आर द रिलीफ्स एंड रेमेडीज अवेलेबल टू द कंज्यूमर अंडर द कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट. दिस इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वन विच इज जनरली आस्क्ड. फॉर द रिमूवल ऑफ डिफेक्ट्स, ठीक है, डिफेक्ट्स को रिमूवल कर दिया जाएगा बाय द प्रोड्यूसर सेलर और इट इज़ करेक्टेड. removal or recorrection, repairment of the defectiveness in the goods and services. The replacement of goods, if it is not possible to repair or remove, then the replacement of goods, still replacement is also not possible, then refund of prices. फिर that is the relief and remedy. Then award of compensation, हो सकता है कि कंज्यूमर के लाइफ पर कुछ असर पड़ा हो ड्यू टू हैजार्डस गुड्स, एक्सप्लोजन से या एक्सीडेंट से या इल इफेक्ट ऑफ द गुड्स, तो कोई हाथ टूट गया हो, कट गया हो, जल गया हो. इन दैट सिचुएशन द अवार्ड ऑफ कॉम्पेंसेशन बाय द कंज्यूमर कोर्ट इज ऑल्सो देयर. देन रिमूवल ऑफ डिफिशियंसी इन सर्विस प्रॉपरली नहीं दे रहा है कोई पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट, तो उसका रिमूवल एंड रिपेयरमेंट ऑफ डिफिशियंसी इन सर्विसेज टू बी डन. Discontinuance of the unfair and restrictive trade practices by the seller producer. Then stopping the sale of hazardous goods, जो hazardous और explosive goods है उनका सेल को रोकना by the government. Then the withdrawal of hazardous goods from the market also, and payment of adequate cost of the product, at least payment of adequate cost to the consumer when they are victimized or exploited. So these are the reliefs and remedies available to consumers. Next, the 3-tier redressal machinery also available under the Consumer Protection Act 2019. First is the District Commission, which is to be appointed or established by the state government in the district level. One or more district commission can be established by the state government at district level. Main important feature of this district commission is that the product or services having value not exceeding 1 crore are dealt or taken into account for the redressal in the district commission. मतलब 1 करोड़ तक के वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज के लिए जो है कंज्यूमर कैन फाइल द कंप्लेंट in the state district commission. Now, if the aggrieved party, either consumer or seller, are not satisfied with the order of the district commission, they can appeal before the state commission within 45 days from the date of the order. 45 days, not 30. In the Consumer Protection Act 1986, it was 30 days, not the 45 days. So you have to be very careful. अगर कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1986 है तो वहाँ पर 30 डेज होगा, वहाँ पर 45 डेज नहीं होगा. कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 2019 में इट विल बी 45 डेज का अपील पीरियड है. देन द स्टेट कमीशन इज टू बी एस्टैब्लिश्ड एंड अपॉइंटेड एट द स्टेट लेवल बाय द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, एंड अंडर द स्टेट कमीशन द कंप्लेंट टू बी फाइल्ड फॉर द प्रोडक्ट्स हैविंग द वैल्यू एक्सीडिंग 1 crore अप टू ₹10 crore. तो 1 crore से ऊपर और 10 crore तक वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स फॉर विच द कंप्लेंट कैन बी फाइल्ड इन द स्टेट कमीशन. Once again, if the aggrieved party is not satisfied with the order of the state commission, either seller or consumer can appeal before the national commission within 30 days from the date of the order. यहाँ पर आप देखेंगे चेंज है, 45 days डिस्ट्रिक्ट कमीशन में, बट स्टेट कमीशन में 30 days है अपील पीरियड. Next, the National Commission. It is established and appointed by the central government at all India level basis. And once again, the value of goods for which the complaint is to be filed here more than 10 crore, exceeding ₹10 crore. And if any aggrieved party, either seller or consumer, not satisfied with the order of the state commission can appeal. Sorry, I just corrected. If any of the aggrieved party, being seller or consumer, not satisfied with the order of national commission, can appeal to the Supreme Court within 30 days from the date of the order of national commission. तो यहाँ पर भी अपील करने का जो पीरियड है 30 days है, not more than that. So this is all about the tier redressal machinery available under the Consumer Protection Act 2019. Consumer get the redressal within stipulated time, and this is all about this chapter for the term 2 board examination of 2022 for business studies. So dear students, you have to be very careful while writing the answer and go through the sample paper which is issued by the CBSE, and then the next segment of my video I will be discussing some case study on the CBSE sample paper issued for the term 2 examination, and one more portion of the financial management EBIT EPS analysis which was missed out also we will discuss in the next and last video for the term 2 board examination of B.ST 2022. Thank you. Take care.